Agile encourages us to be transparent in our processes so that we can inspect what we do and adapt it where necessary. We have project management tools such as Jira to track burn down against requirements, CDCI pipeline tools such as Jenkins to continuously integrate and test our code, static code analyzers such as SonarQube to give us a view on code quality, and we run sprint retrospectives to consider how to make our projects happier and more productive. This works reasonably well at the project level, but as we view our estate as a development manager, head of delivery or CTO, do we really have the transparency we need in order to inspect and adapt? The Dashboard project is all about aggregation of meaningful project metrics so that you can understand how your teams or groups of teams are doing when compared with one another. This helps you answer key questions such as which programs or projects need my attention, how can I improve productivity, and am I getting value for money? Almost all the data you need to answer these questions is already held within systems you use such as Jira, Jenkins, SonarQube and quality frameworks. The problem is that they are difficult to link, aggregate or compare meaningfully. This is partly because each team tends to organize itself and customize its tools independently, and partly because the different tools have no common description of a project progress or efficiency. The Dashboard project is therefore about two things: adopting a more harmonized approach to using your existing tools so we can compare one project with another in useful ways, and selecting, extracting and aggregating meaningful metrics that allow comparison of projects and programs. This is best illustrated by example. Imagine you are a hands-on CTO wanting to understand the status of perhaps 50 development projects. You could collate information from your various development heads, but such active reporting takes time. Surely we should be more transparent so that passive reporting on key metrics is available to all and at any time. You open the dashboard to see your aggregated view of progress, quality and cash burn. What needs your attention? Looking at the dimensions of efficiency, effectiveness and costs, you can see there's potentially an efficiency issue in the business intelligence stream. Drilling down into that stream, you can see projects, including the one with a red flag against it. You can see the velocity has dropped for the last release, and you can change the periodicity to look at the data at sprint level. Project B has got a problem. Let's look closer. Lots of new issues have been created and closed within a sprint, implying that the team has been diverted from new features onto fixing technical debt. And if you look at effectiveness, you can see lots of red flags against key quality measures and broken builds. Costs have also increased as more resource has been thrown at the problem. You can move out again to see this in the context of the whole business intelligence stream. So how do we do this? Well, firstly we established a common canonical data form so that we could bring together data from Jira, Jenkins, SonarQube and add anything else easily and quickly. This, for example, helped us understand the costs or team progress. It also meant adopting some best practices in Jira. For example, we now flag new stories that represent fixes to existing stories, so we don't claim the business value for that story till we're really finished. Data are now extracted periodically and staged in a database so that we can aggregate project metrics and present them through a unified dashboard. We've also selected Tableau as the presentation tier. It allows us to create role-based graphs with drill down into the underlying data. So far, we have focused much more on which metrics you might need in the extraction of actual numbers from your underlying systems, although we've already demonstrated this is possible and much of the effort is centered on access to permissions to your systems. We now need feedback and prioritization on our roadmap for taking this forward. For example, we would like to measure quality of requirements. We know that clearer requirements increase team efficiency. However, this is offset against the cost of producing them. The balance may be different for each team, but we'd like to set some common practices in Jira and ways of measuring them to help us report better. Naming standards. At the moment, each team uses Jira differently. This makes it difficult to understand and compare projects. We believe simple standards on key aspects of each project would greatly improve consistency and clarity. Quality metrics. SonarQube needs to be adopted more widely by all projects. This would, for example, help us take and measure interventions aimed at reducing issues raised or tests failed, both of which impede velocity. standardized tools for SLAs and availability. This would mean we could measure reductions in the number of issues and breaches or near breaches of SLAs in production, and ensure that measures can be readily identified to remediate issues raised. Our vision is to cover the entire development lifecycle from requirements and team formation, through development and to production monitoring. We have a roadmap in mind, and we'd really like to work together on this. Thank you.